The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Mason Fire District 11, Washington, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 36401. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Just under the front bumper, attached to the frame rail, you'll find 2 open-ended tow hooks. Moving up onto the face of the bumper, you'll find dual air horns. Located directly in the center, you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker. Moving up onto the bumper extension, passenger side, you'll find the fire bell. And as we move to the center section, bumper extension, D-handle gains you access into your hose storage location. Moving over to the driver's side, you'll find your mechanical siren. And now let's move to the cab. On the outer edges, A-pillar, both passenger and driver side, you'll find turn indicator marker lights. Just inside of that location, you'll find the headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. Moving up, turn indicator and emergency warning light. As we move to the windshield, there are 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. As we move to the outer edge, you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. And moving up onto the brow, you'll find 5 ID clearance lights. Located in the center, you'll find a forward-facing floodlight. And as we move up onto the roof of the apparatus, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Located inside the light bar in the center is where you'll find your Opticom. Let's go ahead and take a look at some close-ups of the items that we just talked about. Let's first start with your air horns located on passenger and driver side. Once again, siren located in the center and PA speaker. Let's take a look at the bumper extension. D-handle once again gains you access into that location. Fire bell. Let's go ahead and look inside the center location. Graded dry deck inside, and then also a swivel 1.5-inch discharge foam capable. On the outer edge, you'll find your mechanical siren, and on the side of the bumper extension, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. Let's take a look at the A-pillar marker and turn indicator, also headlight structure and emergency warning light. Let's move around to the driver's side of the vehicle. Easily accessible with the gloved hand, you'll find your door handle. They are keyed access points. Right next to that, you'll find a grab handle at all points of entry for gaining entry and exit out of the vehicle. Next to that, you'll find the red shoreline inlet. It is a 20 amp auto eject. And then also right next to that, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. As we move inside to the driver's space, we'll identify a few items within this area. First, let's start with the yellow placard, and then we'll come back here. All of our warning and information placards on the door panel, door lock, latch, and window control. This is your date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, and cold tire inflation, VIN number, and all of the components for each fluid capacity and fluid capacity type. As we move about the pedestal of the seat, you'll find when plugged into Shoreline Power, the battery voltage charger will be activated. Moving to the seat comfort controls, this is an air ride seat. We have air inflate and deflate into the seat, and then also front and back, and then a bar across the center section for moving the seat or sliding. Down at the floorboard, you'll find the mechanical siren foot pedal. As we move to about the left knee of the operator, you'll find the master battery switch. It's the quarter turn. Right next to that, you'll find the engine, transmission, ABS J1939 diagnostic port. And as we move to the bottom, a few switches, ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics, and regen inhibit switch, brake treadle, and accelerator. As we move up to the dash, you'll find your start and ignition switch, small switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master. This engages and disengages all emergency lights with one push of a button. Headlights and then panel switch allows you to brighten or dim lights within preview of the operator. Let's move to the opposite side of the steering column where you'll find the OK to engage the high idle switch and indicator. Also, the pump shift, instructions from road to pump, and then also on the opposite side, instructions from pump to road. You need 2 green indicators prior to exiting the cab for pump operations. Let's move just slightly up from this location where you'll find our mirror controls for the main mirror and convex mirror. And let's go ahead and move up once again where you'll find your pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. It's the yellow diamond. Just beneath that, you'll find the mirror controls or reference point, and then to the right, the Allison transmission pad, push button, digital readout. We do have a few switches just above this location. Let's go ahead and go through those next. First, the engine brake, it's an on-off switch, and then next to it is a setting switch for low, medium, and high. We do have tire chains, it's a protected switch, and then also a load manager and mirror heat. Let's move just to the right of this location and slightly up where you'll find the windshield wiper. This will be speed control and push for fluid. As we move just above that, you'll find your siren control and PA speaker system. And then above that, you're going to find your backup camera monitor system. To the right of this location, climate control for heat, defrost, and air conditioning. Let's go ahead and take a look from the driver's seat overhead where you'll find this black placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 10 feet 4 inches, and the length 32 feet 7 inches. Gross vehicle weight rating 45,000 pounds. We also have the 5-digit job number located down in the lower section. If you make any adjustments to your vehicle that may alter any of these, please update this placard. As we move to the right, you'll find the emergency master, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, and upper rear warning. When any of these switches have been activated, the light will illuminate green in the individual switch. Moving to the right, we have the high beam flash, a selector between air horn or electric horn, siren brake, which is for your mechanical siren, and then perimeter lighting. Moving further to the right to the next switch panel, these are going to be our scene lights. We have front scene, driver's side scene, passenger scene, rear scene, driver flood, and passenger flood. As you move further, you'll find the traffic advisor individual module for that. Let's go ahead and look overhead where you'll find your traffic mitigation device. And then as we move further back, that's the HOS system. And then also your seatbelt information, red indicating that someone is in the seat and not belted, green in the seat and belted. We do have a do not move your apparatus when the light is on. When it's flashing, it's indicating you may have a compartment or door ajar. Air conditioning directly over in the center area. As we move further back, you'll find push on and off white or red lens lights, and then also your stereo speakers. We're about to the exterior now, and where you'll find your shoreline auto eject plug and emergency warning light. Also a side-facing cab scene light at the upper portion behind the driver's door. We do have Alcoa wheels and Goodyear tires. There is a visual sight indicator inside the center of the axle. As we move to the rear cab, once again, easily accessible with a gloved hand and also a grab handle. Overhead, you'll find the water level indicator that's on the rear cab wall. Let's go inside now into the back section, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning plaque information, door lock latch, and also electric windows and a grab handle. As we move inside, you'll see at the forward section a red grab handle strap. That's for gaining access in and out. Right next to that is your heater. And then as we move inside, you'll find a rear-facing SCBA seat. Now as we look to the center section, you'll find a lift and turn access point. This will gain you access to the rear of the motor, where you'll find your daily checks for oil and transmission. Firecom headsets, one on each side, and then also a forward-facing EMS compartment. Let's go ahead and move back to the exterior now to the mid section of the pump panel. There is a walk-through pass section. Underneath this area, you'll find perimeter lining for the step area. Once you gain access to the first step, you also have additional step and additional lighting. There is a latch located here for additional storage in that space. On the back wall of the cab, you'll find additional walkway lighting. Let's go ahead and identify a few things within the pump panel area. First, you do have a crosslay located. It's directly in front of the pump panel. There are also some step fold downs. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pump panel itself. We'll start over on the right-hand side here in the image. First, starting with your auxiliary inlet, 2.5 inch female, also driver side number 1 and number 3 driver side discharge. Your minimum operation maintenance schedule at the top for 150, 200, and 250, and the tank to pump. You also have a few discharges located here and also your fire pump primer. As we move to the left, large diameter and also the number 2 passenger side discharge. As we move also, you'll find this is your FireCom headset system. This is an access point. As we move to the pressure throttle governor, if illuminated, it would be yellow in color. It's the check engine light. You have a digital readout for the RPM. If illuminated, it would be red. It would be the stop engine located on the far right. The menu button, which is orange, allows you to scroll through the various menu functions of the Pierce pressure throttle governor. We do have additional tally information here regarding your engine, and also a silence button, which is red in color, allows you to silence any audible alarms that may be sounding caused by the pressure throttle governor. As we move down, you have two options, either pressure mode or RPM throttle mode. Located in the center, digital readout, menu information, and also a throttle ready green indicator on the far right. Just beneath that throttle ready green indicator, you'll find a preset which is green, allowing you to preset any pressure or RPM positions. You'll also find your throttle right to increase, left to decrease, with a idle button in the very center, which you'll push to move the apparatus to idle. As we move to the right, you'll find an audible speaker. This allows you to dampen the sound by simply rotating the outer edge of the bezel, or you can increase the sound level. Let's move up now to the OK to pump indicator and also switch panel. This is a green indicator. Moving to the right, we have your master intake, master discharge, and then also test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. They're currently plugged in or for testing purposes. We have an engine cooler rotate and also a water level indicator. That's the blue module. As we move into the foam system, this is your Husky 3 foam system. There are instructions located on the placard itself and also on the module. The green is the system on and off. It does present itself with a foam percentage, which is a digital readout. We have two gray buttons, either increase or decrease that percentage, and then also a prime button. On the far right, we do have some tally lights there for the system status. If you look at number 4 in the operating instructions, it will describe those tally lights for you. To the right, you'll find the foam level indicator for tank A, and then also you'll find the Husky 3 foam system specification placard to the far right. As we move to the right and left side of the dash portion, you'll also find additional lighting and also grab handles. Located in the center is your master stream device. And as we move to the side pump panel, we're on the side of the driver's area. We'll go through the items within this area. As we move just under the running board, you'll find the foam tank intake and discharge drain, color-coded and labeled. We do have additional hose storage dry deck with also Velcro tie downs. Let's move to the pump panel where you'll find the passenger side auxiliary inlet and then also color-coded discharge drains. As we move up, you'll find two 2.5 inch discharges located on this side. Also some safety warning placards. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. Also your minimum operation maintenance schedule placard. Let's move just to the right of this location, but stay in the same area of the pump panel where you'll find your Wattress placard indicating the capacity of your pump, 1,500 GPM. Moving further to the right, I have an additional warning. Only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after you've received proper training. As we move further to the right, you're going to find the American flag Eagle Pierce logo. This is your large diameter driver's side inlet. Also find the manual pump shift. As we move up, you'll find the main pump drain. And as we move further up, you'll find a warning placard indicating do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. This is the draft or tank lever and also foam fill tank access. Moving up, we have a warning label regarding entanglement hazard. Because of those lines coming from aloft, there's the possibility of entanglement. An additional warning label, if you are climbing onto the apparatus, always face the apparatus. This is going to be our pre-connected line access location on the passenger and driver side. We're now to the body where we have two red emergency warning lights located in the upper portion, also a body side-facing scene light. As we move down, just above the rear axle, you'll find an additional emergency warning light, side-facing, and then just underneath, we're going to find our wheel chocks. These are folding wheel chocks stored just in front of the rear axle. Also, tire chains are located. You can see a visual on those now. Let's take a look with all the compartments open, and then we'll go ahead and go through all the compartments next. First, let's start at the very compartment at the front and move upward. This is going to be your battery charger. When plugged into shoreline power, this is active. You also have a mid-marker turn indicator lamp. As we move up from this location, D-handle gains you access into this location. This is SCBA bottle storage and also your DEF fill location. There are two bottle straps here also. As we move to the rear, you'll find SCBA bottle storage location. Once again, D-handle gains you access into this space. Two SCBA bottles with retaining strap. Silver cap is the ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. We're over the rear axle now. Tool board, D-handle gains us access to the backside. Once that opens, it will lock into position, and on the very back side of the hinge, there is a release mechanism that just simply needs to be lifted to restore back to its original position. As we look overhead on the door, we do have pull-down straps that are velcroed up. Moving now to the rear compartment, adjustable shelving. To the rear section, you'll also find an additional wheel chock on the driver's side. Let's take a quick look at a few items. Here's the emergency warning lights. This is the front section of the body. And then we'll look at a close-up of the rear section and also the side-facing scene light. Let's move around to the rear of the apparatus. As we look underneath the bottom section of the tailboard, it's where you're going to find perimeter lighting and then also a tow anchor point. As we move down, you'll find brake, emergency light, turn and reverse light, license plate location. Let's go ahead and move up to the top where you'll find an emergency warning light and then also a rear-facing scene light. As we move down, you'll find folding steps that are on the vertical side surfaces, and then also some warning placards here regarding entanglement hazard. Because of those lines from aloft, there's the possibility of entanglement. When climbing on the vehicle, always face the vehicle and never ride on the vehicle while the vehicle is in motion. Let's move to the center. This is directly above the roll-up compartment door. You'll find additional side sheet fold-down steps for gaining access to the hose storage location in the hose bed. In the center, you'll find your traffic advisor recessed and then also a recessed backup camera. As we move over to the center compartments here, we're going to find an adjustable center shelf and then also a pull-out tray. The release mechanism on that tray is on the lower right. Fold down steps here on the passenger side of the vehicle. As we move up to the very top, once again, emergency warning lights and also a scene light. You have a 24-foot extension, 14-foot roof, 10-foot attic, and then also long-handled tool storage. Let's move around now to the side of the vehicle. This is the passenger side, and we'll start with the rear body. Same configuration and layout that you have on the driver's side as you do on the passenger side, although maybe some slightly different compartment configurations. First, let's start. Here is a picture of all compartments open. Inside the rear compartment, we do have shoreline outlet here and also an additional extended plug. At the very bottom, side-facing emergency warning light. As we move to the rear, you'll find Pierce mud flaps and then also your Goodyear tires and Alcoa wheels. Just above those tires, you're going to find SCBA bottle storage. Here we have 3 SCBA bottle storage locations, also with retaining straps. As we move to the front section of the axle, 2 SCBA, and additional oxygen. I would like to point out that your vehicle has an exhaust on this side. It is extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures. Be cautious where you park your vehicle. As we move up to the top, you'll find once again the very rear of the apparatus has the emergency warning light and then a side-facing scene light. Forward section, emergency warning light. Let's go ahead and move now to the cab section or mid-section of your apparatus. We'll start down at the very bottom section. You do have LED lighting and also a perimeter lighting. This is an emergency warning light. As we look inside the tubbed storage location, dry deck material here for hose storage and also tie downs via the Velcro straps. We have color-coded discharge drains, access behind the pump panel. As we look inside this area, this is where you're going to find your relief valve. This is the adjustment screw for that relief valve. You'll also find the American flag Eagle Pierce logo, large diameter inlet. This is on the passenger side. Also a warning placard regarding pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. As we move down to the forward section, color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Let's take a look at some discharges here and also a warning placard regarding pressure hazard. As we move up, this is your large diameter passenger side discharge. As we move up, you'll find the 2.5-inch passenger side discharge. Moving further up and slightly to the right, you'll find your cab lift. We have instructions for its operation to raise the cab and to lower. We do have some additional danger and caution information placards here also. As we move up to the top, once again, because of those lines coming from aloft, we have a warning regarding entanglement hazard. And once again, if you're going to climb on the vehicle, always face the vehicle while climbing onto it. As we move inside behind the pump panel area, we do have a pump compartment light with a switch located here. And then at the top section, you'll find your crosslay. Let's move to the pass-through compartment. This is going to be steps and additional storage location just on the very top step. As we move to the cab itself, let's start down at the lower section with the Pierce logos at the rear of the tire. This is your front axle. Also, as we move into the step area, we do have lighting in each of those steps per NFPA. As we move inside the door, you'll find affixed to the door panel all of our safety and warning placard information, door lock, latch, and also window control and a grab handle. An additional SCBA rear-facing seat here. As we look to the ceiling area, you'll find push on and off red or white lens lights and then also your Firecom headsets. As we move to the front axle, Goodyear tires, Alcoa wheel, and then a visual sight gauge for the center axle. Emergency warning light directly over the front axle. As we move up from this location, a side-facing scene light. This is the cab passenger side. As we move to the rear, you'll find an LED water tank level indicator on the rear cab wall. We're now to the officer seat area. Once again, easily accessible with a gloved hand. And then also your mirror, flat and convex. Let's go ahead and take a look inside the space here. First, let's start at the step with a step light. As we move inside, door panel, you'll find safety and warning placard information. But I would like to point out also this is the fill location for your windshield wiper. And then also the white knob is the pull for your fire bell. As we move up to the dash, just to the left, you'll find the mechanical siren push button. As we move further to the right, you'll find a siren brake and also a horn button and 12-volt access via USB. Looking overhead, we're going to find push on and off white and red lens lights. Also, we'll find your stereo system and then also your headsets. Moving to the front bumper, side-facing emergency warning light on the bumper extension, and then this also gives you an opportunity to see the rope pass through the cab area for the fire bell. Congratulations, Mason Fire District 11, Washington, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 36401. If you have any questions about your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.